The last question then is about the structure of the atom, and it gives you a diagram of an atom and asks you to match up the things that are labelled to the statements down here. So we're going to be slightly careful with this, because you should know obviously that the things around the outside here, orbiting around the outside of the atom, are the electrons. So that's fairly straightforward, but you have to be careful about which of the two particles in the nucleus is the proton and the neutron. So let's look at these three things. The particle with a positive charge, well, that's going to be the protons. The particle with the smallest mass is going to be the electrons. So we should be able to write straight away J into the middle box here. And the particle with no charge is going to be the neutrons. So the difficult part about this question is, how do we tell which ones are the protons and the neutrons? Well, it's all tied up with the fact it says an atom. And you should remember that in an atom, there are the same number of protons as there are electrons. So we can count the electrons, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you should see that then the black coloured particles in the nucleus, there are 4 of those, and for the white one there are 5. So the black ones must be the protons. So that means L are the protons, and so L goes in the top box here, okay, leaving K to go in the bottom box. Most common mistake on this question is just mixing up L and K, because unless you really think about it, you could easily get those mixed up. Give the reason why all atoms have a total charge of 0. Well, the reason for that is that there's the same number of negative electrons as there are positive protons, and that's true for any atom. So the positives and negatives cancel, and there is 0 charge. All you needed was number of electrons equals number of protons. Now, 5C was very easy if you looked at the previous question in question 4, because question 4 asked you what's the name of things with different atoms with different numbers of neutrons, and the answer was isotope, and here it's asking the same question in reverse. Now, they're unlikely to do that in the real paper. That's happened here because I've put this paper together from several different exam papers, but you never know, so look out for these things, okay? So there are several isotopes of beryllium. Atoms of different beryllium isotopes will have different numbers of neutrons. Again, it's the same factual recall. And finally, what happens to the structure of an atom to change it into an ion? Well, you should know this in a lot of detail from chemistry anyway, but gains or loses electrons. You didn't have to have both. One or the other would have been fine. And that's it.